Hello, my name is Mark Madsen, and this is my CAS reflection of 2022 of all my CAS. Starting off with creativity, I did two main things, which was first of all making a movie, and the second one was MUN. So if we start off with the whole making a movie, or rather being an actor in a movie, I I was forced to become creative with my acting because a lot of the stuff we did was, as I might have mentioned, improv. We had to focus on some lines and some scenario happening, but a lot of it was just improv, and we do a lot of takes, meaning I was forced to become creative with it. So I feel like that activity in regards to creativity, the creativity aspect of CAS, really forced out creativity inside of me. For MUN, I, as you will read regarding MUN, I didn't quite do what I had planned to do. I was initially planning on going as a delegate, but then it was decided that, I should maybe just go and become part of the executive team, which meant I became the the vice conference manager on a whim, which was fun. The way that was kind of creative for me was just in the way that I was able to give input into how to do the conference. It'd been a long time since we had a conference in Newport Gymnasium, so it was a lot of new people there, including me. I'd never been on the executive team before, so we all got to become very creative and be very creative with how we'd set up this whole conference. It also, that creativity also translated into our way of gathering ad staff, which was part of my job with the head of ad staff. So we liked to think of new ways to get people engaged with ad staff, since it can be a little boring and it's not really got the best news about it, I guess. So in that manner, it was very nice to do that MUN thing. Then for activity, the activity part of CAS, I did three main things. I did a lot more things, but these were the three main ones. I trained for a half marathon. Didn't complete it, but I trained for a half marathon. I had a long-term workout session goal, which meant I worked out a lot and noted that down and improved upon that. And then I also went and played rugby in Odense Rugby Club. So starting off with training for a half marathon, it's obviously activity. There's not much to say to it. It was just, I was actually running with my girlfriend at the time. And we were just doing our best. We started off with 3Ks, and then we gradually built up how good we were at it. And we just were able to, I was able to run 15K with a pace of 5 minutes per kilometer at some point. It was, mwah. Then I got injured, so I wasn't able to complete it. But yeah, I was very active. I was more active at that point than I'd ever been before. For my workout sessions, I can't say I improved a whole lot or got way more active in general, but I will say I became healthier. And that is because I became, instead of working out as much as I'd done before, which was 7 times a week, I did some research and I discovered how to work out smarter, and I worked out more efficiently and I ate better. So my overall physique improved so much. It was the same as my strength. So that was lovely. I also went to Odense Rugby Club. That's because in the start of Previ, I joined the New Ball Rugby Club and I became rather proficient at it. So my coach, he was like, okay, there's a club in Odense. If you want to go, you're welcome to. And I just started going, and I continued going in second eye and third eye, both indoors and outdoors, where I went to matches and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. It was a whole new way of being active, which was absolutely amazing. Yeah, but overall the activity, doing this CAS thing and writing down. So I think it's very visible in my workout sessions, writing down everything I was doing and forcing myself to improve and reflect upon what I was doing made it so I overall became smarter at working out, better at working out, and lessened my injury rate, which I got very injured when I started working out because I worked out wrong. For service, I did three things. I did more things, but these are the things I wrote down. I did a consultation. I did two consultations evenings, but I wrote one consultation evening down for the IB. I did a Red Cross walk, gathering money for a cause of global significance, and I went like trash collecting in and around Newport with my friend Lucas. So starting off with the consultation evening, it was just Ulrich. He wrote out. I was like, hey, we need people to help write stuff in. No, talk about the IB and why it's good or not. And I texted him personally at some point. I was like, okay, how do you want us to sell this? Do you want us to be like, this is fantastic, this is a great opportunity, just do what you want to do? And he was like, no, I want the complete opposite. I want you to be completely honest, because this wasn't just a service for the school to gather students, it was also a service for the students to get an honest review of what the IB is, because the IB like doesn't want students who don't want to do the IB. It's different from the Danish lines of education. There's a lot more writing, and a lot of people don't realize that. So he wanted us to show an accurate representation of what it was, which was part of the service. For the Red Cross, that was less like school related. It was kind of school related. It was set up by the school, or like we were influenced by the school to do it. But me and my friend Lucas, we saw like, okay, there's a Red Cross thing, and we want to help out other nations because we feel like we've got it absolutely amazing here in Denmark, especially like with where we go to school and stuff. So we got a map of where to go, and we went around the neighborhood. We actually went wrong at some point and started and like knocked on doors. So I wasn't supposed to be knocked, but they were lovely. They were like, they gave us some money, but like they said, no, maybe don't go here. You're not supposed to. And we're like, fine. But overall, the Red Cross thing was super rewarding morally for us. And I know you're not supposed to do service because you feel better because of it, but I think just the fact that we now know that we've done something to help, it makes us feel good, and we can now actively see our help in the country that the money went to. A more direct approach and more like a service we did, or I did, but also with Lucas that we did and around Newport, was the trash collecting, because that is becoming more and more of a problem around the world. So we thought I think it was Jim actually who set it up. He's done it before. But we signed up and we went trash collecting, and it was enjoyable. But I think I was kind of sad when doing it, because I became so much more aware of how much we just litter around the world and around Denmark. So yeah, I think that's something that could like sum up my service activity. Is I've become so much more aware of what like is morally right and the effect I have on the world, but also just the effect I can have on other people. But that stops with the activities. Now, regarding the learning outcomes, starting with number 1, identifying your own strengths and developing areas for personal growth. I think I've done that with most of them. But I think the most I've done that with has been in the activities, because I'm a very athletic person. I love sport, so I think that's where I put the most like effort in. So especially in the rugby thing, I've improved so much to it, having never played rugby before, to actually playing matches and becoming the man of the match in my first match ever playing. So I was able to see my strengths, which was running, and I developed them, and I was able to become better and better at the sport, which was lovely. Regarding learning outcome number 2, demonstrating that challenges have been undertaken, developing new skills in the process. The one I think was the most, showed that the most, was MUN. And that's purely because of Corona. The way that it's been so troublesome having to arrange a whole ass conference while just being under the pressure of maybe it won't happen, which it didn't even happen. So it was, but I think we definitely demonstrated that challenges have been undertaken, and we were all able to develop the skills to cope under that pressure and plan out pretty decent conference. We were able to gather plenty of ad staff and plenty of delegates. It was lovely. So regarding learning outcome number 3, demonstrating how to initiate and plan a CAS experience. I think the one that shows that the most is but workout sessions, the ones I've done. I don't think I've ever put that much thought into what I've done than that, like into my workout sessions. I started working out pretty early. I worked out at 14, 15 doing CrossFit and just normal like gym stuff. But now, like, because of CAS and because I've done this and because I've thought about what I was doing, I actually planned out and like the whole experience. I planned out how to work out, and it was so fantastic. The effect it had, I became so much more aware of what I was doing. I became better at working out, became smarter, I injured myself less, and I became less stressed because I knew what I was doing. I could go to the gym and just do it. It was fantastic. But regarding learning outcome number 4, showing commitment to and perseverance in a CAS experience, I'm going to refer again, to the training for the half marathon. I think that shows it the most, just because it's such a big thing. I'm a fast runner, but I'm a terrible long distance runner. But we started training early, what's it called? Early 21 and like early 2021, like right after winter break. No, right after Christmas break. And we continued for like 4 months of training, and I was running for at least like 2 to 3 times a week, and it was fantastic. I definitely showed that I could commit to this CAS experience. It could also be because I love challenges. But training for the half marathon was definitely the one I was most committed to for the longest time. Now, like learning outcome number 5 then, demonstrating the skills and recognizing the benefits of working collaboratively. I would, again, I think say, I don't know why I keep saying that, but that would be the waste collection in and around Newbor, and also the Red Cross walk, collecting money, just because I did both of those with a close friend of mine. And even though those were activities that you could easily do like alone and just like go your own thoughts, but that would become quite kind of a chore. Just going with a friend where we could both give our input in how to do it effectively, or like how to do it well, and how to not make the people we're asking money for uncomfortable. It made the experience enjoyable, and it made it fun, and it made it so it wasn't a job. It was like a pastime activity. That's what I learned the most from working collaboratively in a place where I didn't actually have to work collaboratively. In learning outcome number 6, demonstrating engagement with issues of global significance. This was the one I was a little iffy on, but then I realized I did the Red Cross thing, which like collecting money. It's not huge, and it's not like I collected millions. I think we collected about 500 krona, which on a large basis, on a large scheme, it's nothing much. But being at the time 17 years old and being distraught about what's happening around the world, and especially with Corona happening, it was the only thing we could do. And I think we did well, and we're going to do it again. We're planning on doing it again, me and my friend Lucas. But yeah, we definitely demonstrated some aspect of engagement with issues of global significance, even if it was only to a minimal degree. Learning outcome number 7 then, recognizing and considering the ethics of choices and actions. Again, this would be the MUN thing, and it might not be for the reason that you think, because I was actually planning on fulfilling this learning outcome with being a delegate, but I wasn't able to be a delegate. So this learning outcome was more so fulfilled by the fact that I was in a position of power in the MUN. I was in the executive committee, and I was vice conference manager, and me and the conference manager actually, like, we managed the whole thing in a way that we were basically equals. But having so much power and having so many people under you, it really made it like me aware of how to make them how to basically not become power hungry, how to not just become lazy and have all these small people do it. I became aware of the fact that everyone was stressed. So often I would, instead of giving maybe my PA who had a big test a few days later, instead of giving them like a 2 hour like doc to like write down names of AS staff, I would do that myself, because I'd realize that if I'd given them to them, they would be even more stressed, and that would be very ethically incorrect. So in that sense, MUN has really fulfilled the learning outcome number 7 of recognizing and considering the ethics of my choices and actions. Lastly, and I'm sorry this video is so long, but hope you're still here. I don't know if you have to be, but if you are, hello, Stuart and Jim, if it's you guys watching. It's my CAS project, and the one in rugby, like the Rugby Club Newborn, which is an event that's like been there before. And it was just fun. I've written so much about it. I think I never thought I'd write so long of a reflection, because my reflection is the longest part of all of that. My investigation is like there with like what I was doing and stuff, but I was reflecting so much and so positively on the whole experience, which you'll see when reading the whole thing on my CAS project. But I think the biggest thing with my CAS project, and I was going to say this earlier, but then I realized it's my CAS project and not my like activity. When it comes to working collaboratively, I think that's something I learned. I learned so much from, because you can't do that alone. You can't manage a club on your own when you're 17, 18 years old, which was what me and Michael were and are. So being together about it and being able to, because we're both athletic and we've done sports before, so being able to give input in how to, first of all, warm the like players up was so lovely. But also just having the head coach, like James Bushby, my man, having him just be able to be there for us and make like big decisions and encourage people to come to the actual practices and then be at the practices and then give his input as a former rugby player, it made it so we were all 3 parts of a cog, him being the biggest cog, but all 3 parts of a cog in a machine where we could give each other our input and how to do it right. And then that made the sessions fantastic. Because of that, I believe that is the reason we were able to have people actually come with me and Michael to Owens and play rugby. We have had 3 players, which is the most this year, like in any year, come to Owens to Rugby Club and play, and it's fantastic. And most of the season is starting in a second, and I have people coming to me like, "Yo, when is the season starting?" Like in Owens, like, and they also ask when is the season starting in Newport, because of this collaboration and because of the way we've handled the whole rugby club together. It's been incredibly successful, and it's just worked wonderfully. And the whole experience has been lovely, even though we weren't able to do as much as we wanted because of Corona. It really made me see how well people can work together and the effect it has when people with different backgrounds in sport work together in a different sport that only one of them has done before and just has fun with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much else to it. It was just fun, and I really appreciate my my fellow coaches and my players in that sense. And it was an incredibly rewarding experience. And I'm sad I can't continue doing it. And I hope the tradition continues here at Newport Gymnasium. And that was it. And my name is Marcus Madsen from Newport Gymnasium. And goodbye.